Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cookie Tribe, and we are picking up right where we left off with the lovely Rosewater, who is currently expecting her very first child, much to her relief as one of her worst dreams was dying without having children of her own, not particularly because she happens to love baby nichelings, but because mostly she wanted to leave a lineage, a mark on the Cookie family, and thankfully her beautiful spotted self managed to get the attention of Cran, named after cranberry cookies, who is actually her brother if I remember correctly. So as sometimes happens with nichelings, we do have two closer related nichelings thinking about starting a new batch of cookies of their own. As we decided over the last few episodes, and you guys know from those episodes, each tree can now hold one batch of cookies of up to 12 or 13, a dozen or a baker's dozen, nichelings, and so I love the idea that Rosewater, in her desperation to have children of her own, and seeing that the nest has become too full, like the first tree has become too full. Clearly, there are just too many nichelings. I like to imagine, the tree can only support so much life at once. So I really like to imagine that each tree, each batch, can only support about 12, pushing at 13 nichelings. And after that, you would just take too much from the tree and it can't give enough to support the population. So that is why, instead of sitting around and having to accept that her brother Hazelnut, as the new patriarch of the family, he is standing on top of the bones of his father after all, he's the one who gets to have all the kids right now. And that's something that's really hard for Rosewater to accept because she wants to be able to stick her genes into the family tree and have kind of the attention, the acclaim that her brother has been getting this whole time. We did actually see, I think it was Marsh hopped over there. Yeah, it was Marsh because they have complementary immunity. So they smell really good to each other. I like to say that if the immunity is different, so they would have healthy babies, then they would naturally smell better to each other because believe it or not, it's very complicated, but it happens with humans sometimes. People who have complementary immune systems that would help you create healthier offspring sometimes smell really good just themselves, not with deodorant or perfume on. That was a really fun thing I learned when I was taking my physiology class. But it's very, very, very complicated. There's lots of factors to it, of course. But it's true to a degree. And so I love that idea, especially because we have cookie nichelings, that they smell really good to each other if they are going to be able to have healthy children and have good immunity. But even with that rosy scent, Rosewater was not able to convince Marsh to have her children. He decided that you should support the cookie tree. You should support the cookie tree and follow the patriarch that Mies has wanted. And so of course he's not going to leave the main cookie tree. That's too disturbing a thought for him. So Marsh has stopped wandering around, and actually his run-in with Rosewater has made him feel he needs to return to the main cookie tree and help his brother Hazelnut out with whatever he needs as he continues to have many healthy young children. And since we have one wanderer now, Cream has kind of left the cookie tribe, and mostly because she doesn't have Cracker Jaw. She has no way to eat nuts, and so of course the whole tribe is so worried about her. Cream, darling, you're going to starve to death. Stay under the cookie tree. You can stay in a nest your whole life. We'll treat you like one of the children. She doesn't want that, and she's kind of a wanderer. She just sort of daydreams all the time, and she very quietly slipped off into the grasses on her own, and so she's no longer an official member of the cookie tribe. So we should probably go ahead. I need to figure out, I think I'll use all yellows maybe, if they're wanderers. There we go. So I'll use all yellows if they are wandering nichelings for their little action points. And all yellows, well, I can't change Graham at this point, but Graham, upset that both his mother and old Aunt Cumin, whose bones are still rattling under this tree. This is the good old tree. What are you doing? I raised you better than that, Rosewater. Get yourself back over here. We should all be under this family tree. So the bones of old Aunt Cumin are right there still. But Graham, so upset that his mom and Aunt Cumin died, has run away into the wilds. Also because he too cannot crack nuts, which would of course distress every single nut eater in the family, because you have to have nuts to be a healthy nicheling. That's just part of a balanced diet. But it also frees us up so we can have more babies. So we now, taking out Graham and Cream, that's 2 down. So we actually have 10 left. And then taking out Rosewater and Crayon, that's 2 more down. So we have 8 nichelings at this tribe right now. Which hopefully I can just start using their little icons to count faster because I really struggle with math. I have number dyslexia in case you guys don't know, so if I get the math wrong, I apologize. Numbers don't stop moving for me, so I can't even do mental math very easily. It's very hard. But we have, in fact, maybe I'll get like some little marbles and like line them up, and that way I can just move them around when we move nichelings about. But anyway, we've got 8 nichelings in the current batch as a result. So Hazelnut can probably have more children. Hazelnut... Oh, that's right! Breedy was his mate, and Breeny's dead now too! Everybody's dead! Hazelnut, what are you gonna do? Like, Breeny was perfect for you. Oh my goodness! Breeny was really perfect for him, and now she's gone! What? Okay. Hazelnut, don't panic. Where's Banana? Okay, Banana, you're adorable. Apparently you're actually Hazelnut's sister. Can any of the females? He's got J and D immunity. And I think I and D, I and A. Oh, so I thought Sugar Drop was actually like his daughter because she's so young. But no, Sugar Drop was the last one born from Fair and Almond. Fair is still sticking around. But yeah, it looks like Hazelnut's too closely related to all of the current nichelings. And he has Anzak, who actually, it's so hard to see, but Anzak does happen to have spots. He's got gray spots. And he thinks that he's going to inherit the Cookie Tribe, but that's kind of contested. That worries all of the nichelings because you can't see his spots very clearly. They're very, very, very faint. Does that count? Does that mean that he is only barely in Misa's favor? But it looks like there's not a single female that Hazelnut can actually breed with. So he might have to go on a grand quest to see if he can find a new spotted female to bring to the tribe, and otherwise one of his children would actually have to inherit. So who would it be? We have Macadamia, we have Cream, who has left actually. I can change the colors from here, sweet. And I think because we already chased out a nicheling, I can't change his color, unfortunately. Graham. So we have Anzak and his younger brother Macadamia, who would be the heirs to Hazelnut's reign if he has no further children. Anzak is highly contested because of his faint spots. They're there, but is that enough to satisfy the goddess Mies? And Macadamia is quite tidy in appearance. He is a clearly spotted nicheling. He has crackerjaw. He has 2 dainty little paws. He's not very violent. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe there might be like different tribe cultures for each batch. I think being super flirty is kind of Rosewater and Crayon's thing. Super flirty and focusing on pink hues and maybe nibbling berries and nuts at the same time. And then maybe their gentleness, like gentle, is what is going to start showing up for the very gentle nature of this tribe. Because they do seem to have very gentle hearts. But maybe we'll end up with another batch that might be focused on a little bit more of a fight. Because Hazelnut used to wander around and want to be quite the fighter, but no longer. Alright, I'm sorry I talked so long. There is a lot to actually sort out, and it's my first day back from Thanksgiving break. But we have set up many personalities. Let's see how they play out. Alright, so let's come and start with the exciting one. We already have a permanent nest under a tree. Clearly, that is a wonderfully, important place. And Rosewater can sit right here and start eating nuts right away to make sure that they have a healthy baby. Crayon can come over and join her. And she really wants tiny patterns and white fur. And Crayon, I think, is super flirty as well. We don't have fertility. I feel like high fertility might kind of be their thing that we could add in, but for Crayon, I think that he really, what should we have? He has Velvet Paw and Claw, so he can gather nuts, which is important for this family. He can do a little bit of fishing. He has a little bit of strength, but he really, maybe we'll do Peacock Tail in the future, because I could totally see that being really flirty. Let's have him maybe be nimble. Do they have any negative traits, either of them? They do not. So eyes are fine. So I feel like Cranberry might want to have like nimble fingers. Like he really likes being able to be kind of sly and quick. So if we had lean body, I would give that to him because I feel like that might be this tribe. And let's give him violet eyes because I feel like he has been enchanted, like he's seeing things through rose-colored glasses, you might say. So that's Rosewater and Cran. And then over here, let's get some food. Fair is going to encourage her son Hazelnut to go forth, and he'll just kind of casually grab that. Go forth and try to find another mate. We have many children, but their numbers have dwindled, and you want to have a full batch, and we've only got 8. So go forth and try to find a child or like a mate to have more children with, because having lots of children is kind of part of this tribe, up to like a dozen. You want to have a full tribe after all. All right, Sugar Drop, you come and hang out with your mom. Fair is going to settle in under the tree. I think this is getting close to her final day, so she's getting a little older. Banana can actually help out. I think she'll jump over, and I'm going to have her babysit Sugar Drop because we're about to lose her. And then Walnut, I think, is a very good little guy who's going to try to dig up some roots for us so that we can unlock that digging paw, because I think that might be useful too. And Marsh is going to help defend and guard the cookie tree, and of course gather from it. Please don't mate with your mom, Marsh. That would be a misclick for sure. But he's going to gather up from the cookie tree because he's still feeling somewhat disturbed by rumors of a new batch and gathering under a new tree. What is that all about? And meanwhile, I really feel very strongly. Macadamia is over here. He was trying to keep an eye on his brother Graham and make sure that everything would be okay. He'll share some berries, but Graham has run away again. Run away yet again. And I think that Anzac is trying to respect the fact his brother wants to leave the tribe and accept that maybe there is something bigger out there in the world than staying here, especially if Graham feels so strongly about leaving. So I think that Anzac would be okay with him leaving, but he and Macadamia are actually the two who would end up being hazelnuts, like inheriting all of this. So I'm gonna have Anzac jump around and actually like do a little bit of clearing, maybe try to clear his thoughts and think, is this a tribe that he would want to inherit? Is there a spotted female out there who would smell good for him? Why, yes there is. It's Blani, his aunt. With J and A immunity and G and D immunity, they could actually have some interesting children, and I think that they would make a great pair because Anzac, with his almost not there spots, does he have the will of Mies upon him? And Blani don't really follow the traditional cookie coloring. She is a black nicheling with like rose-colored spots and a lighter coat with darker spots, especially like a light brown coat with brown spots, is considered the ideal in the image of Mies, the cookie goddess. So I think that actually throwing together 2 of our wild cards might be really, really fun. And I'm thinking, if Anzac, for some reason, doesn't become heir of this tree, it might be fun to have another culture and another genetic split amongst our cookies and take Anzac and Blani, who is a more adventurous nicheling who doesn't seem too interested in staying under any particular tree just yet, over to this tree. And we might throw like the really far out genes into their batch and see what happens. Get a little bit wild with the ingredients over there. So I'm going to let Blani actually do a little exploring because I feel like she's pretty adventurous and she's pretty confident with taking care of herself. And then Cream, what on earth can you do? You can't collect these berries. Like, what are you doing with life, Cream? She's just going to wander. I guess I'll have her wander over to the edges and she can just kind of like weave little grass necklaces for herself or something. All right, well. Oh wait, Rose, I'm coming. Oh no! Little Coco! And we're actually going to name her Coco as like a pun on coconut cookies. But little Coco has been born. And unfortunately, she is sickly, you guys. But she's so pretty. And she actually has horns. Look at her dainty. She's perfect for everything that this tribe over here for the cookie tree, the rose cookies, I should say, the rose tree. We'll call them the rose tree. We'll call these ones So the rose cookie tree, the nut cookie tree, and we might, like, I don't even know, like, the sprinkles cookie tree? What on earth would I call something that would be really out there? But poor little Coco has just been born, but she is sickly. She is paying for her parents, mostly focusing on looks, unfortunately. Hopefully her mother can stay with her for a day. We're gonna move over and gather up some nuts right away because it's very important to keep babies on a diet of nuts. Cran, I think, is going to immediately try to woo his fine mate, and of course do his work at helping to provide more nuts for their new rose cookie tree. So, yeah, alright, our rose cookie tribe is getting, yeah, well, we can call them tribes, like our rose cookie tribe is getting off to a little bit of a rough start. And over here, Graham, maybe you wanted to stay closer to everybody than you were actually implying. We're going to go ahead and have Macadamia gather up more of those berries. And then he might even call over Walnut to come and join him. And they can try, dig up some roots over here. And then we're going to let Anzac get out of the way. I think that Graham is trying to dig that root up, actually. But Anzac is going to get out of the way and just contemplate if life under the tree is what he really wants. And Hazelnut, fearing that the tribe is shrinking in size, will say goodbye to his mother Fair, who has now gathered the final nut that she has to offer, much to Marsh's distress. I think he's actually going to be very concerned about this, so we'll go have him hang out next to his mom. Oh, he got that root and headed out. Okay. But Hazelnut is going to set forth and see if he can find a tree trunk of some kind. He is going to retrace the steps of Lala and Tata and see if he can find a spotted mate to add to the cookie tribe, because there's no one who is the right scent right now. So let's see. Whoa! Help! 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 What are these? I don't want to add snails. Snails do not go in cookies. No snails in cookies, okay? That's not, I'm not doing that. Oh my gosh, but let's try to harvest that because that would be cool. I've actually not seen those in a long time, so those will be fun to look at. All right, and Blondie, anything? Oh, she found a nest, so I think she's beginning to realize maybe nest can be built somewhere where there's not a cookie tree, but I don't know. Raising a baby without having any nuts? That's dangerous. Let's see. And there's actually not a lot of food right here. So I wonder if Sugar Drop would try to follow. Can she collect this? She could. I think Sugar Drop is keeping an eye on where their leader Hazelnut is going. And Banana is trying to help out by keeping an eye on the little ones, who are actually like her younger siblings, I think. Meanwhile, Cream, you literally can't gather anything. I guess I'm just gonna, oh, well, she got some bunnel there. Alright, so yeah, she really defies the Cookie Tribe ways. Oh my goodness. But alright, so let's see what we've got going. Fair's final moments. Alright, Fair. It has been wonderful having you here. We desperately needed you, and now that you have been born, you have left behind many children. You have quite the large batch of cookies. I know that it seems right now the tribe is splitting up, but I promise you, we're just distributing the ingredients into a way where we will have even more wonderful nichelings in the future. So thank you for your contribution to the tribe fair. I mean, holy cow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This nicheling just spent like her entire life having as many babies as possible, and it has given us a solid start to our cookie tribe. Rest in peace, Fair. And now her bones, too, nurture this cookie tree, and with her passing, our nut cookie tribe remembers why they are gathered under this particular tree, and why it is home, and why they shall care for it, and why their children shall all be born under it. Because it is the home of their ancestors, and it is the place that provides them with shelter, with food, and with a future. And so, on that note, we are getting ready to scatter our ingredients even further, because I am going to grab Anzac. I want to do that, actually. I think Anzac has heard the rumors, especially now that Macadamia has grown up into such a beautiful young man. And, though Macadamia is already kind of like, Sugar Drop has beautiful ears. And Anzac, I guess he could kind of like make eyes at Sugar Drop, but I think Sugar Drop would be more attracted to his spots because Anzac would be lower tier technically. So I think Anzac wants to wander like his brother Graham, but with less anger. And so he might follow in the footsteps of an aunt who has just been occasionally yelling out from the grasses, "Hey, you'll never guess what I found over here." So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see if Hazelnut will be able to find one more spotted mate to bring back to the family tree or not. And I will see you guys next time. So if you guys have not yet joined our Nicheling Pantheon, do please consider subscribing and doing so. If you have any good names for how we should name our cookie batches, please let me know in the comments, because Rosewater Cookie Tree is a lot more fun to say than tribe, but is that confusing? Like the Nut Tree Tribe? I kind of like that better, even though they're like cookies. The Nut Tree Tribe, the Rose Tree Tribe, and I don't know what we're gonna call this one, but it's gonna be made up of like all the most random colors, and it's gonna be awesome. But all right, yes, if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Please toss a like down there to toss a nut to our wonderful nichelings, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.